brother he was becoming. A tale of influence, pride, and the weight of example. When the world grows loud, we light a lantern and listen. This is Ozzy's Moonlight Tale. In a quiet African town, where evenings were filled with the sound of crickets and distant laughter, lived two brothers, Samuel, 14, and Joshua, 12. They were only 2 years apart, but in Joshua's eyes, Samuel was miles ahead. At 14, Samuel was known in school as the genius. His mathematics scores were the highest in his class. Teachers praised him. Neighbors spoke proudly of him. Even relatives would say, "That boy will go far." But Samuel had a habit, a dangerous one. He lied. Sometimes it was to escape punishment. Sometimes it was to protect his image. Sometimes it was simply because he did not like to be wrong. If he broke something at home, he would say, "It wasn't me." If homework wasn't finished, he would blame a classmate. And if anyone questioned him, he would defend himself confidently. At 14, he was clever enough to make his lies sound like truth. And Joshua, at 12, watched everything. To Joshua, Samuel was not just a brother. He was a role model. So when Joshua saw Samuel lie and walk away untouched, he learned that lying works. One afternoon, their mother called from the kitchen, "Joshua, have you finished your homework?" Joshua hesitated. He hadn't, but he remembered how confidently Samuel always answered. "Yes, Mama," he replied quickly. Later, when the truth came out, Joshua immediately said, "But Samuel does it too. I've seen him, and he says he didn't." Samuel snapped, "That's not true. Stop lying." Joshua stood there confused. He had copied the master, but now he was standing alone. Despite their parents' warnings, Samuel grew more stubborn. "You are 14 now," their father would say. "Your brother is watching you." But Samuel brushed it off. At home, he became disrespectful, especially toward their grandparents. When Grandma told long stories about the old days, Samuel would sigh loudly. When Grandpa gave advice about humility and honesty, Samuel would mutter, "That was your time. Things are different now." Sometimes he belittled Joshua. "You don't even understand simple maths," Samuel would say coldly. "You're too slow. I was smarter than you at 12. Joshua would laugh weakly, pretending it didn't hurt, but was breaking inside. The person he admired most was telling him he wasn't good enough. And when your hero calls you something, you believe it. One term, during an important school examination, Samuel was accused of cheating. He hadn't cheated, but when he said, "I didn't do it," his teacher looked at him quietly. "Samuel," he said, "you are brilliant, but you have lied before. It is difficult to believe you now." Those words hit harder than any punishment. For the first time in his 14 years, Samuel understood something painful. When you lie too often, even your truth sounds like deception. He was suspended while the investigation continued. At home, the atmosphere was heavy. Then something even more painful happened. Joshua was caught lying at school too. When asked why he lied, the 12-year-old lowered his head and said, "My older brother does it, and he is the smartest person I know." Silence filled the room. Samuel felt something he had never felt before: shame. The school later discovered Samuel had not cheated. His suspension was lifted, but something important had already been lost: trust. That evening, their grandfather called Samuel outside as the sun set. "When you were little," Grandpa said gently, "Joshua followed you everywhere. He copied how you walked. He even tried to talk like you. You were proud of that." Samuel nodded slowly. "He is still following you," Grandpa continued, "but now he is following your character. Where are you leading him?" For the first time, Samuel saw clearly. His lies were not just mistakes, they were lessons, and Joshua was learning them. The next morning, Samuel did something harder than solving any mathematics problem. He apologized. to his parents, to his grandparents, and to Joshua. "I was wrong," he said quietly. "You are not stupid. I was proud, and I taught you the wrong things." Joshua's eyes filled with tears. What healed him wasn't the apology, but his hero choosing honesty. Change did not happen overnight. But slowly, the 14-year-old who once defended every lie began to defend the truth instead. And the 12-year-old who once copied deception began to copy courage. African elders say, "A child who washes his hands eats with kings." Also, a child who walks ahead determines the path for the one behind. Brilliance may earn applause, but character earns trust. Someone is always watching you. Your example can build or break the person who looks up to you. Choose wisely. Until we meet again under the moonlight. Sleep gently. Dream kindly.